Good morning, and thank you for joining the Aurora Winning Proposals webinar. We're really excited to show you the work that we've been doing for the past 1 year, where we've learned a lot of insights in terms of how to create a winning proposal and also how to improve our proposal tool to make it more usable and enjoyable for you to be able to create your own customizable proposals. We'll also show you how to set up your proposals correctly in Aurora and how easy it is to use our 4 new stunning, ready-to-use out-of-the-box proposal templates. At the end, we'll do a Q&A from the chat room. So if you have any questions during the webinar, please type them into the chat, and I'll be muting the participants. So please do type in your questions into the chat, and we'll answer them at the end of this presentation. Our agenda for today is to answer the question first: what makes a winning solar sales proposal? As I mentioned, we've done quite a bit of research. We've talked to a lot of folks and homeowners, and we've worked with some amazing designers to create what we believe are winning proposals. We're going to go over that. Second, we're going to go over the template tool functionality and improvements that we've made. And finally, we'll show you what a final proposal looks like from an Aurora project. A little bit about Aurora. You're probably already familiar, most of you, but our mission is to help you design and sell better solar. Some of our top features are remote site analysis, bankable shade reports, which are now accepted by all major rebate authorities in the US, accurate performance simulations, financial models, and finally what we're talking about today, which is customizable sales proposals. We're really proud to have over 12,500 projects per week designed in Aurora, which is over 50,000 per month. A little bit about us. I've been talking a lot, so I'm going to let Courtney take this one.
My name is Courtney Furl. I'm on the customer success team here at Aurora, where I support our customers and specialize in financial modeling. I have a background in civil engineering, and I'm currently getting my MBA at Indiana.
My name is Rahul Nihalani, and I'm the head of growth at Aurora. I get to work on user experience, product, and growth strategy here. And I have a BA with business economics and computing from UCLA. Go Bruins. So diving right into it, what makes a winning solar sales proposal? So the first thing we did to find out the answer to this question is we hired a top-notch branding and research professional, Catherine Glass from Springmark, which is her own firm. She's helped brands like Starbucks, Petco, and Delta with their branding and customer insights. Next, we interviewed some seasoned solar professionals. In fact, some of you might be in this webinar right now. And we asked you, what are the major problems you face when trying to sell solar? What are the major issues that come up? What are the factors in a proposal that help you close deals and other factors that maybe detract from closing deals? What do the homeowners want in a proposal that you found to be helpful? What do you want to show in a proposal that you found to be helpful? So we've answered a lot of those questions for you. Next, we spoke with the most important group, which is homeowners who are interested in solar. We actually spoke with homeowners from all over the US, and we spoke with them at different stages. So first, we spoke with homeowners interested in solar. Second, we spoke with homeowners who were actually in the process of getting solar, so they had proposals on the table. And lastly, we spoke with homeowners who went through the process but decided ultimately not to get solar. And so we garnered some really interesting insights from all of these folks. And so what are those insights? So according to our research and work, proposals should, one, highlight the things the homeowner cares about. Now that's pretty obvious, but what are those things the homeowner cares about? So first is, a lot of homeowners will claim environmental concerns as a primary motivator to get solar. But ultimately, our research shows that the finances were the final decision-making factor. And rebates and incentives were actually a big part of that. Next, they care about reviews, testimonials, and especially referrals from people they know. We live in the internet generation. People will check you out on Yelp and Google. And then, of course, ideally, if they can get a referral from a neighbor, that means the most, which I think you already know. Next, they want you to visit them in their home and walk them through it. They really want that personal connection. They want to see how you present yourself and your company. So when you are in their home, they really are judging you from what you wear to what you say, and finally to the proposal that you leave with them at the end of the day. Lastly, this is an interesting point, but some homeowners care about a clear and concise proposal, whereas other homeowners really want to see all of the details. And so thinking about how to present, almost two different proposals to these two different types of homeowners. Next, number two, the proposal should be flexible enough so that you can choose what to show. What that basically means is that since some customers care about short and concise and others care about more detail, you need a proposal that can do both and do it well. Also, a new solar salesperson might need more pages in a proposal to be able to answer the homeowner's concerns accurately, whereas a seasoned solar professional with a lot of experience would be able to answer those questions off the cuff and from memory. And so that person might only need a 1 to 3 page proposal. Third, how do you differentiate your company? I think today more than ever, it's more competitive in the solar space. And so, if a homeowner has 4 to 5 proposals, how are you going to differentiate your solar company and you from the rest of them? A lot of these folks have great reviews, great referrals, good testimonials, great products. How do you really differentiate yourself from them? And I think one of the things we've realized is that design could actually set you apart and differentiate you. Good design in your proposals, good design in your 3D models, and the quality of the tools you choose to employ, such as Aurora, the accuracy of your designs, those types of things can really differentiate you. 4, you want to exude the highest sense of quality and professionalism. Again, that's obvious, but building on the last point, people want to be able to trust you. They want the best for their home. They're making a large investment of multiple thousands of dollars. They want to know that you're not just selling them something subpar or to get a tax credit. So again, showing them that you utilize the most accurate methods, displaying a 3D model with trees and a sun path when others only have a 2D model, and leaving behind a well-designed proposal are all things that can help. And 5, and lastly, be remarkable. What that basically means is that when you have all these other folks vying for the same business, you want the customer to talk about you. You want to leave behind an impression, whether it's you as a person, your company and your ideals, or the proposal that you leave behind. You want them to talk about your proposal and your company rather than the other competitors. And so how do you do that? I think a great proposal that's visually appealing and different enough will be memorable and will be talked about. Again, we've just summarized these insights in a very short amount of time, but if you'd like to see all of the details on our research, we have an amazing blog post that Gwen, our content editor and writer, put together, which is here at the bottom of the slide. And don't worry, you don't need to take notes or anything. We'll send you this presentation at the end, so you'll have this for your records, and you can reference it, and you can click on the link and check out the article. So without further ado, I'd like to present our all new proposal templates. Here they are. We've got 4 new proposal templates for you. These are just the cover pages, the front page of each proposal template. As you can see, each one has a sort of visually distinct style, but it's still something that's flexible enough to work for everybody. We've made them brandable with your logo and company colors. And so where it says Aurora here, you can replace it with your own company logo, company colors as well. They're 16 pages each, which I know is a lot of pages, but it has all of the information you would want to show, and you can hide the pages that you don't want. So if you want a 4-page proposal, you can hide all the pages you don't want. And if you want a 10-page proposal, same deal. They're designed by some of the top designers from all over the world, and that's really true. We've scoured the web to find amazing designers whose work has been critically acclaimed as well as acclaimed by the public, and we found them, and we've been very lucky and fortunate to be able to work with them to create these proposals for you. And lastly, they're optimized to close deals based on our research that we presented. So I've been speaking quite a bit. I'm going to turn this over to Courtney, who's going to actually dive into the proposals and the functionality and share a bit more about the work we did there, and dive into the best part, which is in the tool itself, showing you how to create the proposals and finally present them to your customers.
So first, it's important to define the difference between a proposal template and a project proposal. Your template is going to be where you customize everything, and that's going to be your theme colors, as Rahul mentioned, your logos, any imagery. This is going to be where you add in your text boxes and placeholders, as well as 2D, 3D views of the site, and any charts and tables that you'll need to present to your customer. So this is going to be restricted to administrators only, so that you can set up these proposals, and the salespeople will be able to just generate a proposal based off of that template. Then the project proposal is going to be for your specific project. You're going to use this template to finalize everything. It's going to have limited editability. You'll apply a financial model to it, and all of your placeholders will automatically populate with data from your design. These are dynamic, so as you make changes to your design or your financing, they will update within your proposal. Then you can also adjust your 2D, 3D views for a good angle for the customers, and then modify any editable text boxes you may have. So I kind of mentioned some of the functionality really briefly, so we can dive into the specifics of those. So first we have our text boxes. We can use these to input any text, placeholders, show variables like the system size, the home address, or the payback period. And that's just a few of them. We do have many placeholders. You can choose to bullet your list or number your list, or just write in paragraph form. We do have options for formatting such as font size, borders, just to name a few. And then, as I mentioned, editable text boxes. So this will allow you to customize the proposal specifically for that project, or maybe something you don't want to put directly into the template. You can also add images and logos, any pictures you want to add to your proposal, and then your company logos. You can upload 2 different logos, one for a light background and one for a dark background. And then you can also add in the images as a background beneath text or other objects within your proposal by sending that image to the back. Then we have our 2D, 3D views. You'll be able to orient these in the project proposal by zooming in, panning around. And then you can also toggle items such as the satellite imagery, the irradiance map, and anything like that. We also have a number of charts that you can put in your proposal to reflect some financial and energy data. We have our annual and cumulative cash flow charts, our production versus consumption, electricity bill, electricity mix, and a lifetime bill comparison. You can also add callouts to your lifetime bill comparison to show the beginning and ending electricity bill. We can also add a number of tables to reflect financial and equipment data. We have a cash flow table that will take you through your project life's annual cash flows and cumulative. We have a bill of materials table that will show all the equipment used in your system design, as well as a monthly savings table that will go over some of the utility bill savings. With these tables, you can select which columns you do and don't want to show, as well as which components you want to show in your table. So this is the end of our slide presentation. We do have a couple of links here for your reference, but we can go ahead and dive straight into the software. So this is the landing page when you log into Aurora. To edit our templates, we'll click on our username in the top right-hand corner and click on Settings. And if we go over to General on the left-hand side, we can define those company colors and add in our logos as well. So we can choose a primary color, as well as a secondary color. And then these will just upload directly from your computer. So if you click in this box, we can add in our logo that will be shown on a light background, as well as our logo that will be shown on a dark background. Now if we click on Proposal Templates, we'll see our brand new professional templates here. These will save in your proposal templates, and you will need to make a duplicate of them. That way you'll always have them for reference. You'll also notice these are the published ones and these are unpublished. So this is going to just show you the templates that you can use in your project proposal. That way, if you have a longer list, you don't have to see a drop down with 20 proposals and just the ones you'll be using. So you can uncheck the ones that you won't need. So first I'll show you how to create one from scratch, and then we'll take a look at one of the professional proposals. So I'll click Create New Template, give it a name and an orientation, and click Create. So you'll see a blank page here. If we go to the details drop down, we can turn on a grid so that we can see and place everything nicely. All of our tools are going to be on the right hand side here, and we can extend this box out by clicking. I can add a text box by clicking on text box and then click and drag within the page. And I'm automatically in typing mode, so if I want to just put in some text, let's say system size, add a placeholder for system size. I'll see this gray bar down here. Go all the way to the left and click the down arrow, and we can find the project design system size. These are just some categories for our placeholders. You can also search them here in the search bar. And if you click on the placeholder, we do have a little description about it, as well as an example of what the output will look like. And we can just click on Insert Placeholder, and it will now be in there. And this is just a default number. Once you use this template for a proposal, it will bring in that number from your project specifically. Here's where you can create numbered lists and bullets, some paragraph formatting, some text formatting, and if you right click, we do have some extra properties in here. If I want to change the font, as well as the weight, and if I move this over, you'll be able to see size as well. And I can also add an image. I can click and drag within the proposal. And if I click the arrow here, I can upload an image from my computer. Now, right now, we do not reformat any imagery. So you see this image will not stretch, it'll keep its shape, but we are working on those editability options. We have our 2D, 3D views, which again, you'll just click and drag, as well as our charts. If I want to show a cash flow, I can click and drag in here, and then a table. Now, if I want to move things around to make some more space, I'll just click and drag these items, resize, and now I can pull this down. I can also add a page here if I decide to add more information. So as you can see, that takes some effort. So we'll show you the professional proposals so that you can start with those. So I'll click on this first one here. And as I mentioned, these are not going to be editable. You will have to make a copy of it. It does take a minute to load because it is 16 pages with imagery, but you'll see this nice little bar up here that tells you do need to duplicate this. And so we can click on that and it will generate our copy of this proposal. And again, it just does take a second. All right, so now we can see all of our tools came up on the right-hand side here. We can check in our settings for our theme colors, and we can also change the name of this copy here. And we can also adjust our theme colors if we decide to. We can see our logo came in. This is the light background logo. If we right-click on it, we can change it to the dark background. And we'll notice it's a little hard to see, so it's good to stay with that light one. If we scroll down, we can see our placeholders are the highlighted words. This is our organization name, some information about our organization here. And I'll go ahead and turn on that grid again so we can see how everything lays out. If I keep scrolling down, I'll see some system information as well as our 2D, 3D views. And here's some placeholders for our modules and inverters that are used. This is one of our charts. If I right click on this, I can remove these callouts as I mentioned. And that's in the right click properties where I can uncheck this box for callouts. Or I can keep it if that's something that I like. I can also insert pages where needed by clicking Insert Page, which will give me a blank page. I can move this page up or down, and I can also remove this page if I decide I no longer need it. We did add in some dynamic footnotes here, as you can see, that will bring in a placeholder for our assumed electricity rate escalation, as well as our discount rate. We also allow you to compare up to 3 financing options. So in these proposals, we do show you 2 options, the first one being cash and the second one being loan, but you are welcome to make changes to that. You can also change these text boxes to be editable so that they'll be more dynamic in your proposal. Now I right click on that and I check the box for editable right here. Now if I hover over the placeholders in this Pay Now row, we have F1 system costs. That's pulling information from our first financing option. You'll notice this one will say F2, and since it is a loan, we did put a down payment there. That can be chosen in your placeholders by clicking on the down arrow next to placeholder. And if we wanted to go to financing and system costs, just for an example, you'll notice that we have these 3 options here. So if I wanted to select the system cost from the second financing option, I would click that and then insert that placeholder. So we have our cumulative cash flow chart here, some more dynamic placeholders, our loan information, and our cash flow table. And as I mentioned, you can add and remove columns in here. So if you right click on this and move to the bottom of this properties box, just with a click and drag, click show more. And let's say I wanted to show a prepayment in there, we would add that. All right, so let's go ahead and generate a proposal with this template. I'm going to click on projects to get to my project list, and we'll just use this project here that I've already completed. I have generated 2 financing options so that we can easily model that comparison. We have our cash financing here, and I'll just briefly go over that. I've listed our assumptions in here, and I've kept those the same for the loan, and then ran our analysis to generate all those placeholders and charts that will be in our proposal. So if I go back to financing, I can show you the loan as well. So this should look the same, except for right here, I've added a loan. And I ran the analysis as well. So now if I go to Documents, click on New Proposal, we'll just give this a name and pick the template that we were just working on. And you'll notice here is where it says Financing 1 and Financing 2. These will correspond to those placeholders with the F1 and F2, as well as any of the financing charts that have F1 or F2. So you will want to pick cash for the first option because that's how we have laid it out, as well as loan. Click Create. And it does take a minute to generate. You don't have to click on anything else here. Once you click create, you are all done and it will pull your proposal together for you. So as you can see, we have our logo here. Our customer information is filled out automatically. Our company information as well. If I scroll down, I can see all this text here that we added to explain why going with our company. We also have these little eyeballs here in the bottom right corner. If you don't want to show this page, you can just click that eyeball. You don't have to remove it from your template. You can customize it per project. And if you decide to bring it back, you'll just click on Hidden Page here. Then we have some of our system information, and these placeholders have automatically populated here, as well as our equipment. Now we can zoom in and out of our 2D imagery. We can pan right and left. And that's just with my mouse control. If I right click, I can add in an irradiance map, give it some nice color. And for our 3D imagery, we can zoom in, we can rotate around the house. And if I right click, I generally take out those trees and give the customer a nice view of their home with panels on it. If I keep scrolling, we'll see our lifetime bill comparison here with those 3 callouts that I mentioned. You do have the option to remove those in your template. And you'll notice the primary and secondary colors are populated in here as well. Some information on your bill savings with and without solar, as well as that dynamic footnote here where we can see our 4% electricity rate escalation, as well as our 3% discount rate. Here is the financing page. You can see our cash information came in here with the F1 placeholders. And then we did change this to editable. Let's say you were comparing a PPA. You could just start typing in here, delete, and type in PPA. Of course, you would have to update these placeholders within your template. So we'll just put that back to loan. And then we have more information on the cash option with our incentive and our net cost, as well as our loan option. Then we can see our cash flow table where our prepayment column did come in. And we can see that we are net positive. If I keep scrolling, I can see information about our rebates and incentives. Some company information about warranty and insurance. If you choose to add reviews from your customers. The environmental impacts of going solar, and you'll notice these are placeholders as well. A page for frequently asked questions where you can fill out questions and answers. And then some action items for your customer should they choose to go solar. And our final page is just a conclusion page. Now we can save this up here in our Aurora account, but we can also print it to a local computer or to a PDF on your computer. So you can choose Save as PDF here. You'll want to make sure that the layout is landscape. And then there are some additional settings. If you click More Settings, you'll want to make sure that this checkbox for background graphics is turned on in order to see all of the imagery. And you can see it takes a minute to load the preview here, but we should get a preview of our finished document. We'll be able to save to our computer. And then we can email that out to customers or upload it to the cloud if it's too large.
Great, we have some questions coming in. So let's take about 10 minutes to 10 to 15 minutes to answer those. First question is, will you be sharing the chat transcription at the end of the webinar? We won't be sharing the chat transcription at the end of the webinar, but we will send you a recorded webinar. So another question is, I found that the 3D view is always changing itself in my proposal. And rearranging you spend a lot of time rearranging the 3D view to position the system correctly every time I open the proposal to work on it, it seems. I think that's something that should be fixed now with these new proposals. Once you adjust them, save to PDF, for example, that should not change. So just make sure you're saving your proposals in your project, and then it should save all changes. Right now, in order to add a background, you do need, if it's a custom background, you do need to add an image, as Courtney showed you with the image placeholder. Drag that to be the full size of the page, and then add the image, so that will serve as a background. And then when you right-click the toolbar pops up where you can select move to back, which moves the image behind all of the text and other components that you're adding. Can you give us the optimal specs for logo graphics? Sure, we can send that to you with the presentation as well. We'll add that into the presentation, so you have some optimal specs so that your logos show up crisp and clear. Let's see. Can you...
I see we have a question. How are the environmental benefits calculated? Those come directly from the EPA website.
Great. There is a question on, let's see here. Can you adjust the miles to kilometers for non-US customers?
I know we can adjust the, let me go back to our settings here. We can adjust our units from imperial to metric in our general settings. And that should check that. And also the temperature to Celsius and a couple different currencies in here as well. And I will check on that placeholder for you.
Okay. There's a question from James. How can you use the Pearson front page with the Fritz template? The way the templates are set up right now is each one of them has a very cohesive design. They're all designed to fit and have a certain typography, certain style, certain scheme. And so we don't recommend using the front page of one template and mixing and matching with other pages of various templates. So that's something we wouldn't recommend. If you really wanted to do that, however, you could basically save the images and then create a new page in a proposal template and upload and recreate that page. At the moment, we don't have the ability to kind of drag and drop or copy and paste between templates, but it's functionality that we are working on. And another thing is that we would love feedback from you as you start using these templates in terms of what functionality to add, how to improve them, and anything else that you'd like to comment on. So please feel free to email us and let us know. You can email support@aurorasolar.com with any of your feedback and any feature requests.
So Summit Ops, I see your question about financing and the loan with the payback period. So you will notice that the payback period will say 0 with a loan. That's because it is taking initial cash out of pocket and calculating the amount of time to earn that back. And generally with a loan, you are not out of pocket. And so you will see a 0. So I recommend just removing that from your template.
If I have an existing proposal in Word, can I import parts of its pages into one of the Aurora templates? That's a good question. So you can, but if it's something dynamic that requires something to be updated from your project, let's say, like we showed you with the placeholders, such as, a loan amount or something such as the discount rate that's pulled from the project proposal, then you'll need to recreate that within our templates. But if it's just, for example, a certain page like your FAQ page, you can screenshot that and take an image of it and upload it as an image onto a singular page in our proposal template. And that would be the best way to do that and the easiest way as well.
So I see a question about the type of training and support Aurora offers. We do have a 50-minute onboarding when you do become a customer, where we'll walk you through a general overview of the software to get you started. We also have some great training information in our help center, which I can show you here, that has a guide to getting started, some training videos and helpful step-by-step information on walking through everything else that's in there. We also offer a support email, support@aurorasolar.com. And then if you need additional help, we do offer 30-minute help sessions where we can do a screen share and walk you through whatever specifically you're struggling with.
And within the Help Center, if you scroll down a little bit, there is a specific section for Proposal Tool, where We've actually added a ton more content, a lot more videos recently, an overview section, publishing templates, which is for admins only in the account, and then all of these 22 various articles that show you how to do certain things within the proposal template or the proposal, the final proposal itself. So we'd highly recommend checking those articles out, and those should answer most of the questions you have. But if you have any additional questions, feel free to email support@aurorasolar.com and we can help you out.
Gary has a question about the University of Florida. Yes, I did have fun at the Rice Union.
So there's a question in here. Let's see here. Is there a place? Is there a place in the template where a customer is to sign or can add in contract pages? At the moment, there isn't. We don't have a sign, sort of a easy DocuSign type of thing. But you can just attach the proposal to an email and then have your, signature go through another service, or have them sign on the proposal itself when it's printed. So, any more questions? Let's see here.
Nancy, I'm not sure about your question with the charts and the templates showing payback before incentives. If you're talking about the cash flow table, that's taking into account each annual cash flow either in or out. So the incentives will take effect when they are received. But feel free to write into support if you need more explanation on that question. We do not currently have a direct helpline, but we have a very quick response time at the support email. I believe it's around 20 minutes, so you can reach us quickly.
Okay, well, it seems like those are all the questions we have. There's one more question, let's answer that. It's a question that's talking about the cash flow discount percentage. I think you mean, the discount rate percentage that, Courtney, do you want to?
Sure. Yeah, the discount rate takes into effect kind of the risk of the investment. And this involves the time value of money. For instance, $1 today is worth a lot more than $1 in 25 years. And as your savings on this investment are spread over a 25-year period, we kind of normalize those values. So it's up to you what you want to show. You can just show the inflation rate, or I usually see somewhere between 2 to 5% generally, but it's totally up to you. Paul, we do have a production versus consumption table, and you can turn off the consumption by right-clicking on it in the project proposal, and you'll only see production. But we don't have anything for system loss diagrams at the moment. Yeah, Charles, the Fritz template, you can customize that as you would like, and you can move those tax rebates up to the system cost.
Mm-hmm. There's a question about the environmental benefits page for customers outside of the USA. Those are standard environmental benefits as calculated by the EPA in terms of, new trees planted, cars taken off the roads, etc. So that should apply internationally as well. I mean, it's ultimately a car is a car, and so there's those come from the EPA, and we don't have international specific environmental benefits there, but we don't believe that you need those.
Yes, Brady, the discount rate is actually calculated by finding the IRR. So that is correct. They are essentially the same thing, although we do show an IRR value. So you would have to kind of interpolate that to get them to be exact, but that is how you would calculate it, yes.
Yeah, just to be clear, the discount rate is different from the IRR, but it is used in the IRR calculation. Again, the discount rate is simply something that, to be technically correct and to show someone, technically the value of $1 today versus that same dollar in 10 years, that's where the discount rate comes into play. It takes into account, inflation and the time value of money. Like Courtney said, if I gave you $1 today, it would not be the same as if I were to offer you $1 in 10 years. $1 in 10 years would be worth less. And that's where the discount rate discounts that dollar to the value that it would actually be worth in 10 years. So it's more accurate that way. All right. Well, thank you so much for attending the Aurora Winning Proposals webinar. We really hope that you enjoyed it. We will be following up with the presentation that we showed you today, all of the help center and resources that you can use to, again, customize and build your own proposals. And again, we'd love to hear your feedback. So if you have any feedback, new features, bugs, or even things that you'd like improved, please email support@aurorasolar.com. Thanks again for your time today. And yeah, that's us.